for this session, which is we're really pleased to have some guest speakers in this session, looking at how international graduates can start a business in the UK, with obviously a focus on the Innovator Founder Visa, because I think, as you all will know, if you're on the graduate route visa, you are able to start any kind of business, but then it would be really for the duration of the 2 years currently that you have the graduate route visa. So what we're focusing on today, and that's the reason we're delighted to have Doris and Alex from Investors, who are one of the 3 endorsing bodies for the Innovator Founder Visa, and also the Scale Up Visa as well. And then towards the end of the session, we're really thrilled to have 2 of our Aston alumni join us. So Himanshu and Vishal, who are themselves on the Innovator Founder Visa, and they're going to be talking to you about their experiences of starting up their business Go Diverse. So I just wanted to do a little introduction for those of you who haven't really come across our centre. So we are the Aston Centre for Enterprise and Entrepreneurship, and our whole remit is to support students and graduates under the Learn and Start pillars of the centre who are interested in developing enterprising skills, and then with a view potentially to looking to start your own venture. And that could be obviously a business idea that you've got, or that could be kind of freelancing work as well. So I'll just do a very quick overview of the centre before I hand over to Doris and Alex from Investors. So there's 3 of us who are in the centre, the Learn and Start pillars of the centre. Myself, Chrissy, who's on the call, and also our colleague Kath Rice. And between us, as you can see, we've got sort of over 25 years of experience of supporting entrepreneurs. And what we do, as I said earlier, we do everything from kind of supporting our students and graduates to develop enterprising skills, potentially to make them more employable, or to develop entrepreneurial skills if you know you end up working for a corporate or the third sector. We help you learn through practical and inspiring events. I've got details of a couple of those coming up over the next few weeks. Really importantly, we help connect you with like-minded students, so to sort of find your tribe and learn as much from people like Himanshu and Vishal on the call, who've kind of gone before you. And then ultimately, once you have graduated, if you have a viable business idea, we can help you through our sort of flagship program, Be Seen. So just as I mentioned, a couple of things that are coming up. This session is one of the over 50+ sessions that are part of the Power Skills Festival that Aston University is running. So if you haven't checked out those, that there'll be many will be face-to-face, but there will be others that are online as well. We have what we call our lunch and learn sessions with a whole different array of founders. These are virtual, so if you have joined us from our London campus today, then you can join in with these. So on Thursday this week, we've got Zara Henry, the founder of Heaven's Delights, and then on the 26th we have Adam Farrell, who is a tech recruiter for early stage businesses. These are very sort of informal presentations, and then chance for you to ask questions as well. We have 2 of our startup story sessions coming up, one on digital marketing on the 24th of this month, and one early March on purpose-led social enterprises. And then a new session actually we have, which again might be of interest to those of you on this call, is all around funding and investment readiness for new entrepreneurs. That's an interactive workshop that's taking place in Birmingham, but we probably will be recording that one. We have our Launchpad competition open at the moment. So those of you who have a business idea that could address one of the UN SDGs, might be worth investigating this. There's a £3,000 prize pot that's linked to this competition. The deadline to apply for that is the 25th of February. And then finally, from me be seen. So those of you, once you've graduated, if you're international students, we can support you to start a business, support you with a 12-month package of support, including intensive startup boot camps. We will match you with a business mentor, one-to-one support from our team, co-working space in our building in Birmingham. So, and Vishal and Himanshu were on Be Seen, so they may well be able to answer some questions that you might have about that. All of this you can find through this QR code, but we will be sharing these slides with you after the session. So without further ado, as I said, I'm delighted to have Doris Zhang and Alex Godber from Investors. So I'm going to stop sharing my slides now and hand over to them. Station, and then Doris and Alex will be followed by Vishal and Himanshu talking about their business Go Diverse. So Doris and Alex, I'll stop sharing now and hand over to you guys.
Thank you very much, Caroline, and thank you very much for having us here today. And yeah, Alex and myself are gonna present for about a 20 minutes-ish presentation and to introduce the routes to everyone, as we do not know how much people have already known about the route and the requirements. Then we're going to go into some case studies to talk about the successful cases we have received over the years from universities. And then perhaps Alex would also talk about the application process. As investors would assess people. And just to make it clear here, we are investors. We one of the three endorsing bodies. We are equally sort of appointed by the Home Office, and you are welcome to apply to us, to them, and to us all at the same time. That's all fine. And yeah, but the only thing here, the application process would only apply to investors. The other two endorsing bodies might use different way of assessing. So that just make that clear here. And yeah, then I'll hand it over to Alex. And we're very happy to answering questions by the end. And we will stay to the end for that part as well. Thank you.
Thanks very much, Doris. And yeah, thanks, Carolyn and the team for having us. I think just to build on what Doris was saying, we're very happy to answer questions. But as our role as an endorsing body, we can't answer questions specifically about your business idea and how to improve your business idea to meet the innovator founder criteria. So we need to remain impartial as an endorsing body. And we also can't comment on immigration questions, as we're not authorized to do that as well. So I'd recommend engaging with the team at Aston for any support around developing your business idea or immigration-based questions. But yeah, going to dive into a bit of an overview of the innovator founder visa route now. So our job is to help applicants through the process of applying for the innovator founder route, and basically act as your point of contact. And then we also, if you're successful in getting the visa, we also then work with you to help your business grow in the UK. So Investors are one of the three endorsing bodies, but we've actually been supporting startups founding in the UK for over 20 years. And we started working with the entrepreneurship visas in 2019. And since that time, we've actually assessed over 2,000 applications and work with an active community of over 600 immigrant founder businesses in the UK as well. So from my understanding, we have individuals from sort of the Aston University campus as well as London campus, and perhaps we've got individuals who are at different stages of their business journey. So some of you may have just sort of beginning to flesh out or start your business ideas. Some of you may have already been working your business a little bit as well. So the innovator founder route is one of the options that you have in order to sort of set your business in the UK under the right visa. So the way the application process works is that in order to get the innovator founder visa, you need to receive an endorsement letter from one of the three endorsing bodies, as Doris mentioned, and we are one of those. So you apply for endorsement, and our job is to assess your business plan and whether it meets the criteria laid out by the Home Office. And then you take that, if you're successful, you take that endorsement letter and apply for your visa with the Home Office. The innovator founder route is also quite a popular route, I think, for a number of reasons, but a couple of them is that on the route you're able to work secondary employment while setting up your business. You can work secondary employment, and it also offers a 3-year pathway to settlement, which remains the fastest pathway to settlement. So that's why you might choose to apply for this route, but also it can be difficult to get endorsement and the visa under this route, because the Home Office have set out criteria for businesses that they want to attract to the UK, and these businesses need to be assessed by us as being innovative, viable, and scalable. So I'm sure a lot of you are thinking, what does that really mean? I think just to give you a brief overview of what we see when talking about these criteria. First of all, innovative. What that means is that you need to demonstrate when working on your business plan that your business brings something new and unique to the UK market. That could be a new technological approach, or it could be a new business model, or it could be bringing something that exists outside of the UK into the UK market, for example. But that's not just bringing something different to the UK for the sake of it, but also that you actually bring an advantage over your competitors, or what we call a competitive advantage. So that really means that your innovation allows you to add additional value, or customers are willing to pay for your product over your competitors. And then also that you demonstrate an ongoing commitment to R&D. So just, I guess, really important that you understand who your competitors are and how you position yourself against those competitors in the UK. Second criteria is the scalable criteria. So what this means is that does the business have potential to grow in the UK, and also potential to hire skilled UK workers as well over the 3 years. Then finally, the third criteria is the viability criteria. So that comes down to two things. Firstly, does the team who's applying, does the management team or yourself as an applicant have the right background, the right experience to actually make this business a success? And then secondly, do you have what's referred to as sufficient funds to launch the business in the UK? So what that means is that, can you demonstrate that you currently have enough funds to support the business, to support the development of the products and business operations for a minimum of 12 months, or at least to sort of get to the go-to-market stage? Because the Home Office don't want businesses to be endorsed under this visa route and then fail within the first 3 months, for example. So that's why that criteria exists around viability. I won't go into detail too much on these, but what you can also see is the settlement criteria here. So if you're successful in getting the visa, at the end of the 3-year period, you need to meet at least 2 of these 7 criteria if you want to apply for settlement in the UK. So you can see that there's criteria related to investment in the business, customer acquisition, research and development, and intellectual property, 2 criteria related to revenue, and 2 criteria related to job creation as well. Just going to give you a case study of a successful university graduate that applied for endorsement with investors and now is growing their business in the UK. So the business in question is Cogniverse, founded by 2 co-founders who both applied for the visa at the same time, Raghul Senthilnathan and Lakshmi Divya Alahari. They were both master's students at University College London, studying master's degrees within, one of them within biotechnology and the other one within global healthcare management. And they wanted to establish a business which created a virtual reality platform for medical training. When they applied, they had won a small startup competition through UCL, and then had applied to a number of other startup programs. They'd begun working on their products. They'd onboarded a couple of advisors to help them, to guide them on their journey, and they'd got some Microsoft credits, some Azure credits to help fund some of the development, but they still didn't have much. So they were still running the business quite lean, but they were able to get the endorsement because they demonstrated that they met the 3 criteria. And since then, in the last year or so, since they've been endorsed, they've begun a partnership with NHS trusts in London, and secured a grant award in the UK as well. So they've been able to implement their innovation in the UK, being university graduates like yourself. Just as a brief overview, we at Investors get applications from nationalities all across the world. You can see a higher proportion come from Asia and Africa, and many of our applicants for Innovator Founder Visa endorsement are graduates from UK universities as well. Not going to dwell too long on that, but so if you've now decided that you're ready to apply for Innovator Founder endorsement, just give you an overview of the fees. These are set by the Home Office and the same across all 3 endorsing bodies. So if you want to be assessed for endorsement, you're required to pay an £1,000 fee for the initial assessment. If you're successful in getting your visa, you then will need to pay a £500 fee at 12 months and 24 months to conduct a checkpoint review to assess the progress of the business over that time. And then if you want to apply for settlement or extension, there's a further £1,000 fee at the end of the 3 years. I'm now going to run through our application process. So I think, as Doris said at the beginning, but just to reiterate, the criteria is the same across all 3 of the endorsing bodies, but there are 3 different bodies that you can apply for endorsement. And our application process is unique to Investors, but the criteria is the same. So we've designed our application process to try and make the whole process as easy as possible and make sure that it's easy for you to provide the right information. But I'll just give you a brief overview of that process now. So from start to finish, on average, process takes around 4 to 6 weeks, depending on how quickly you can or you're able to prepare a business plan. At the beginning, we ask you to register and pay the fee. You're then assigned an account manager, like Doris and myself, who will introduce themselves to you, and then they'll be responsible for guiding you through the process. We then do an identity check on yourself. We then ask you to provide a business plan. And then finally, there's an interview, which is then followed by an assessment of all of your case and a final decision. provided to you by our team. Just to go into a bit more detail on each of those steps, you can see our website here, and we'll send around these slides, I'm sure. So this is where you would come and register on our website by clicking the Apply Now button. We then ask for some basic information about yourself and your business, including a CV, a bit of details about the type of business that you want to establish. During this registration process, we would ask you to outline where you heard about investors or where you were referred to, so we can provide more sessions like this to other students and graduates. So I'd encourage you to put Aston University webinar in the introduced by section. That would be very helpful to us. Next step is we do the identity check. So this is very simple. We just ask for you to go through a short process which asks you to take a photo of your passport and a selfie, as well as provide 2 character references. And then the core part of the application is we ask you to complete a digital business plan template. So this is very similar to a traditional business plan that you might prepare in a Word document or PDF format. We just ask you to fill in our form, our template, just so it's fair between all the applicants. And also, we find that this form actually asks the right questions so you can demonstrate how your business meets the specific criteria of the innovator founder route as well. So hopefully it's a useful process for you, and this will form the core part of the assessment. Finally, the next step is to conduct an interview. This is a 30-minute interview with our team and yourselves, be conducted online, where we ask you to present your business idea to a member of our team, and then there'll be a short Q&A session after that presentation as well. From there, your business plan will be assessed in detail by our committee, who will then provide you a decision. As I said at the beginning, either the decision will be a positive outcome, so a successful decision, in which case we will issue the endorsement letter to you, which you can then take to apply to the Home Office in order to apply for your visa. Or unfortunately, if we've assessed that you haven't met the criteria, then the decision won't be successful and we won't issue the endorsement letter, but we will still try to provide as comprehensive feedback as we can. And what you can see on this slide is an example of our scorecard, which provides written feedback in detail, assessing all the different elements of your application and perhaps where there are shortfalls or where you are strong in your application. Just briefly to bring our part of the presentation to a close, if you are successful in getting your visa, investors, we do try to provide as much support as we can to startups. As I said, we have an active community of over 600 startups who we support in all different ways. Here's a couple of examples of the areas in which we'll help you support. So whether it's relocating to the UK, establishing your business, helping you plan a roadmap to meet your visa and business goals. Accountancy, we have a strong network of advisors that we work with, as well as an active community as well, where you can connect with other founders, connect with those advisors, access discounts and perks. We run regular webinars and in-person events as well. So we do like to support our founders as much as we can. And I think that should be good for now. So I'll bring our part of the presentation to an end. And I think we're saving the Q&A for the end. So I'll pass back to Caroline and stop sharing my slides.
Thanks, Alex. That's brilliant. Yeah, I think the format we thought we'd do is if we'll invite Himanshu. Is it just you, Himanshu, doing your presentation?
And now it's Vishal's also here.
Oh, okay. I haven't seen him. Yeah, so we have Himanshu and Vishal presenting, and then so I think Alex, you've got to depart soon, but Doris, you're going to be around to answer any questions that are directly about investors and the visa. So yeah, thank you very much for that, Alex.
Great.
That was really informative, and yeah, see you soon. And
Thanks.
then
Thanks, everyone.
thank Himanshu, if you and Vishal, if you'd like to share your presentation
Yeah.
and
Thank you
run
so
that.
much, Caroline. Hi, everyone. I'll just share my screen and then let's start from there. Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's there.
Amazing.
Hello, everyone.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Meet Vishal. Vishal is my co-founder, and we are both working on GoDivers. And what are we building at GoDivers? We are making it easy for large enterprises, corporate companies, or government entities to reach diverse suppliers and SMEs. So yeah, a little bit of about ourselves. So Vishal is the co-founder and CEO of GoDivers, and he's experienced in previously working with over 120 global corporates and over 500 plus diverse businesses and helping them connect, and also his experience with diverse certification as well. And he worked at MST UK. Myself, I'm also worked at MST UK, and I'm expert in collaborating and creating complex software in the space of the diversity, supply diversity. So that's what I do at GoDivers as well. Create complex software for the solution. So how our journey started? Vishal and I, we both studied masters in entrepreneurship at Aston University, and during our time, we engaged heavily with P scene, and from the I think from the first month, we started engaging with P scene in different pitching competition, and we started learning about the UK business through various programs and we started engaging, quite regularly in the meetup programs as well. And then from there, we got on be seen accelerator cohort in September 2021. And that's where we started our journey on our first startup. Vishal and I, we founded a startup called Hummingbird. And that startup didn't go much ahead. However, we learned great things about UK business illegalities, banking, taxes, and liabilities from that. And then Vishal and I, we both started our journey in MST UK. So MST UK is a leading diverse suppliers advocacy of the UK. So we both started our careers in MST UK, and Vishal was in business development side, and I was in technology side of MST UK. From there, we saw a gap in the market, but there was no appetite in the market. None of the supply diversity advocacies were willing to tackle that. So we came up with an idea that, okay, this is something we can change with technology, because it was very technology intensive, and we encountered all of those inefficiencies that we thought we could solve, which brought us to GoDivers. And yeah, this is the progress we've made. We built a platform where we have brought together all diverse suppliers under one umbrella, which was previously thought impossible by various diverse suppliers, advocacy, because they all are working towards the pillar that they support, but it was quite difficult for them to come together. And within that, the suppliers were suffering, and also corporate companies, it was quite difficult for them to be able to find companies. So we built the platform, and we did the data engineering to bring everything together under under one umbrella. And then the progress that we made, we had the traction with different corporates, IHG, IFF, WTW, where we showcased our domain expertise. We showcased that, okay, how we cover all of the different diverse categories of businesses in our data set, and how our data set is superior than the competition. So our competition, which provided data like this, they were based in the US, and they did not have right data for the UK, did not understand the UK market. And this was our differentiator that we found. And then, yeah, we tested our product through our, corporate partners. And today, what we are doing, we are extending our business to incorporate AI to, help SMEs further, get included into the procurement supply chain of government. So in partnership with Brunel University, we received a grant from Innovate UK, where we are now building an intelligent supplier matching service, powered by AI, and then accessibility analysis engine as well for the tenders, and automated compliance reporting. So this is what we are busy doing today. And now, since this is about the Innovator Founder Visa, we thought we will talk about the visa process as well. Now, our visa journey started with the idea, which was in January 2024. And then from that time, we started toying with the idea, and we thought, okay, this could be something we want to work on. And then we started our proper market research and talking to our customers, or potential customers. We just profiled our customers who could be our ideal customers and all of that. Then we did market research. We engaged with them around April 2024. It took some time to get meetings and collect some data. Then we started working on a business plan on June 2024. It was extracting from our previous experience, previous business and experience, and also the experience that we got from BC, that okay, we need to start working on these things to analyze a business opportunity, right? From here, I'll hand over to Vishal. Vishal, if you're ready, and to take over the process further, how the visa process went for us afterwards.
Yes, I mean, of course, I wouldn't want to tell you guys everything that the lovely investor people have already said. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then end of the day, like the main pillars were like, was our business innovative? Was it scalable? Was it viable? And they've already discussed that things what they check when they assess a business. Yeah. So we did the same thing. I mean, we try to understand that, okay, how are we being assessed? We try to understand that. And the aim was anyway to build a business which would generate revenue, which would be innovative, scalable, and viable. So it was not like, hey, we were trying to like meet the criterias. Anyway, the business was uh like we planned for the business to work out that way. It's just that we had to articulate our words and the numbers and like showcase proof around that. So those are the things. Imanshu, if you can go to the next slide. More around how our process went, and this was like over 2 years ago. So I'm not sure like if things have moved or like, and our body was different. Like we got our endorsement from another endorsing body which is called Innovator International, one of the three bodies. Yeah. So our process was, I mean, again, fairly similar and simple to what investor people um,
Alex.
told here as well.
Yeah.
So it's basically the endorsement application submission. Yeah. So it's mostly around, the creating the business plan, creating the forecast, the financial forecast and projections and all of that. So that took us quite a bit to do. Then we sent the application. Then we were asked for some clarifications on the business plan that we had sent. So we sent our responses to those questions. Then we had an endorsement interview with one of the account managers or the assessors, and yeah, one interview with them. Then we actually got the result and the letter, the endorsing letter. We took that letter, we applied for the innovator founder application. We thought, okay, this would be the end of the process and we'd get the visa. However, sometimes, I mean, things take longer than expected. And of course, like even the home office people, I mean, they had some questions. So like one of our learnings was like, all right, like to give enough time for each of these steps like account for an extra week or so, or like 2 weeks for at each of these stages when you reach. Because like at home office step as well, like they asked us some questions, we sent them via email. After that they requested for an interview as well. So we did that interview, and then after that is when like we got uh the final, the main email that like we were really like waiting for. So that is how the process was. End to end, I would say like it took us 4 or 5 months at least from the time we started like building the business plan to when we actually got the visa like granted to us. So yeah, that's a bit about our process. I wouldn't want to repeat any of the things that has already been discussed here, but if anybody has any questions or like we'll be more than happy to like answer all of that. But thank you so much, guys.
Thank you, Vishal.
Thanks
And you're
both.
right,
That
Caroline.
was really good. Yeah, so really open it up to the floor for questions either for Doris from investors or from Himanshu and Vishal. You can either write in the chat, as obviously some people have already been doing. Okay, we've got some hands. Let's go to Olida Poopa.
Yeah,
Hello.
Laddie for
What,
sure. So it's a hard
what's your
name.
question?
Thank you. I was going to ask in terms of two questions, I suppose, but they are related. At what stage would the business sort of need to be at for you to actually apply and have it successful? And do you have to be generating a certain amount of revenue? Because I saw that we have to submit a balance sheet. So does that question make sense?
Yes, yeah. Doris, do you want to answer that?
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much for the questions, and I've seen some in the chat as well. So for the first one, just to say that for the application, there is no requirement to say what stage you need it to be. You could be just on the concept stage, just having an idea, as long as the idea could meet the criteria which set out as innovative, scalable, and viable. That is fine. The reason you probably see when my colleague was presenting it, some of the business would have been already registered and not trading, or maybe generating slightly revenue because they were on graduate visa or something else, and then they already started business. Maybe some of them even have a business abroad, then trying to relocate their headquarters to the UK. So that's all fine. So once you put in the online application form, if you said you have a registered business already, then the balance sheet part would appear in your application as a result. However, if you come as a, say, not registered in the UK, you wouldn't even see that part in the application, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
Sure, no worries.
And Himanshu and Vishal, you weren't.
In
Yours was a
our
new business,
situation,
wasn't it?
Carolyn, yes. So, I mean, we were at a very early stage. Like, it was like just the ideation. We had done some, like, of course, the market research and all of that, interviews and that sort of stuff. But then, yeah, like, we were like
Yeah,
blank
we were
slate
not
when we
trading
applied for
at
it.
the moment, but we did register the business before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we were not
Yeah.
trading or anything.
Right. Did you say you had another question?
And I guess it was those two questions. What stage do you have to be at? And do you have to be generating a certain amount of revenue?
Okay,
Which they've
great.
answered. So yeah.
Thank you. And then we've got a question from Ali.
Hello. I've got a question. You said that you guys had 1,800 applications back in 2025, I guess, total visas that you guys helped with endorsing and everything, like the whole process. But you said 620 of them are only established. Do you mean that 620 of them ended up being a successful business, or only like the other ones just closed the business by themselves? Because
Right. I guess the question's to myself. And so just to clarify, we assessed over 2,000 applications to today.
Yeah.
This is been talking about because the visa has been gone through a change. It was established as Innovator Visa, then it's changed the name to Innovator Founder, April 2023. So the over 2,000 applications generated after April 2023 to today,
Yeah.
and these are the assessed ones. We only endorsed over 600-ish, if that makes sense. So these are the ones that we endorsed, and the others, unfortunately, they've been rejected. And all the endorsed ones, 95%, over 95%, approved by the Home Office, granted visas. which means that almost all the ones we endorsed would be supported by the Home Office, but sometimes there are immigration issues which we are not aware, then they might come to a different result. So that's what we're saying, that we've been supporting over 600 to today. And then now, obviously, the first group of people, if they endorsed by 2023, they haven't gone to the stage of settlement yet because they haven't served for 3 years. However, the old route, which we were the endorsing body, legacy endorsing body as well, since late 2019. So now we have already endorsed over 40 people on the settlement cases, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And I've also got another question. You guys said that if a business is based abroad and they want to move headquarters, or they want to move their offices into UK and develop their business and establish it in the UK, they don't need to provide account statements. Is that correct? Or they do need to provide it if they're an already established business in another country?
That might be a bit misleading. Sorry, let me phrase that. So the route encourages anybody bringing innovation to the UK. So yes, if there was a business abroad elsewhere and the person wanted to, or the team wanted to bring the business to the UK and relocate the headquarters, that is more than welcome. And while we're assessing it, obviously we have to see what the attractions are at the point of application and what has been achieved. So that's what we're going to assess. However, we more concentrate or focus on what they are going to do in the UK rather than dwell too much on what they were doing abroad.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
No worries.
Doris, there's a couple of questions in the chat that are quite similar.
Sure.
Godwin had his hand up, but he's put it down now. But it's around when you can apply. Do you have to wait till you've graduated? Because obviously you can't start a business on the student visa.
Well, okay, so there is a slightly overlapping cross immigration rules and the business side. I would strongly recommend the individual go and speak to the university team. I think there will be an international office or someone there answering this question, because what we received noticed that since January this year, things has been changed. So what you can do and cannot do on a student visa, I think on a positive note, it has been improved to encouraging students be able to do certain things in the UK. But it's not my position to reveal anything to you or introduce this to you. But please do go and check. There were changes in January and take effective straight away. So back to the part I could answer is that for us to assessing the business, we do not care what your immigration status is. So lots of the applications actually from all over the world, they're not even based in the UK. We do not ask the question as a question about what is your status. We just purely take the business and assess it. That's our role. So we do not do any checks on those things, your visas or your status, where you're based, all of that, if that makes sense. But I can speak from experience. We have endorsed students, we have endorsed graduate visa holders, we have endorsed skilled worker visa holders, or people from all over the world not based in the UK. And we allowed to do that, if that makes sense. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
No, that's great. Thank you for that.
Okay.
We'll come to another one in the chat in a bit, but I think Anne's Shahid you've had your hand up for a while, if you'd like to ask a question.
Yes, hello. I just have one question from Vishal and Himanshu. Was there any licensing requirement related to software that you developed or any other registration requirement?
Hi, Ansh. I'll be able to answer that. And the answer is plain no. There is no licensing or anything that was required.
Okay, but there was a patent requirement. So maybe you must have done for that patent. You must have applied for the patent for that software, right?
That is more so are you talking about the settlement criteria where there's a require like one of the criterias there is IP. So if
I
you're going to like apply for ILR, then it is one of the things if you want to hit that target.
Yeah.
However, nobody like is telling you to like do it. You could be ticking any other boxes in there. So that's
Yeah.
okay.
And also, as per IP laws, the software protection falls under copyright and it's not patentable. So that is something you cannot go for the visa if you want to go with.
Okay. Basically, I was concerned on the business side. Like once you get your software registered, or is there any like mandatory requirement to get your software registered in order to start subscriptions and all those things?
No,
There is no such
none
requirement.
that I'm aware of, but you can obviously protect it with trademarks. But again, trademarks are different than, the
Yes.
IPs, different IPs. So
Thank you so much.
no problem.
Thank you. Name, do you want to ask your question?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. So my question would be to Doris. So we are two partners. We both are in skilled worker visa in the UK. One person would be moving to some other country, but the person who would be staying in the UK, they don't need a visa. The person who is moving out of UK would be needing a visa afterwards. So is it possible, like two founders, one person need a visa, one person doesn't need a visa? Like, is it okay?
Thank you for the question. Let me try to answer it but I also try to avoid getting across any immigration advice. So we endorsed co-founders. One is needing our endorsement, and the other one does not need our endorsement all the time. Sometimes a co-founding team perhaps is someone foreign national, but paired up with someone British citizens or someone just have right to work anyway. So we endorse people like in this kind of co-founding team all the time. But I can't really answer you about sort of a visa related situations.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. Thank you.
No
That's
worries.
helpful. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. And then Harshavad, would you like to ask your question?
Hello.
Yeah. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question to. I'm sure anyone can take up. Since it's already been clarified that it's the established business, they need to show up the balance sheet. And Vishal is clarified that if you have starting the business, you don't need to show up any balance sheet since you are new. So my question is, when you are applying for the innovator visa, should you need to show up the cost sheet that what are the total cost that's going to be applied for the business startup? For example, when you are starting the business, you need to look into the different sectors. For example, you need to hire some people and you need to build up some website for the online marketing or anything stuff. So there will be a cost sheet which founders will have outlined cost sheet. Is that supposed to be submitted to the government?
Right. I think you were slightly quiet, but I hope I got the questions correct. I think you're asking about evidence to submit when you apply the such a visa for assessment. Just to explain that investors does not use your own business plan anyway. So we do ask you to provide a business plan upfront, but it's just purely for the reason that we wanted to make sure it is not a speculative application. We wanted the people who apply going to pay £1,000 a bit more serious because we don't want to just charge people's money and then realize they were just a speculative idea. Anyway, so once you settle the payment, which is set by the Home Office, we're not allowed to pre-assess. You have to settle the payment up front. Then you'll be invited to a business plan template online. This is a digital business plan based on our own experience through our working experience in the past 20 years, and we FCA regulated. So we design our own business plan template. In this template, in the financials part, you meant to fill in the financial projections for at least 3 years. Within the financial projections, we expect you to explain assumptions, what did you get those numbers based on? And these are the things that we're gonna look into in great details and ask you for further clarifications if that's not clear. We do not ask other documents to be compulsory ones, but supporting documents such as if you're saying there'll be a cash flow table or something like that, would be very helpful to understand your cash flow, but that's not mandatory. That makes sense. All we ask is you fill in our business plan, which the one we create for everybody for consistency reasons.
Thank you.
No
Thank
worries.
you. There's a couple in the chat, Doris. There's Anjna asks, what is the minimum financials we need to show the endorsing body? I think Alex did mention that, but maybe you can elaborate on that a bit more.
Yeah, sure, Caroline. So it's a case by case. So there is no minimum requirement anymore. After the changes, April 2023, but prior to that change, there was a 50K minimum requirement, but then they removed it from the initial application anyway. It's still existing in the settlement ones, which two of our sort of applicants, I mean, visa holders here can still comment on that one, but we removed it from the assessment and at the initial stage. So there is no number set by anyone, by the Home Office rules or by us. However, when we assess the financial viability, which is part of the viabilities, we would see how much you project for a need for the startup capitals, because we probably wouldn't be very confident if someone come without any sort of financial viability. We would want it to see at least you have some capital to keep you running for the first 12 or 24 months until your product or service launched. Then you can start to generate some revenue to make it sustainable, if that makes sense. So yeah, so it won't be a number from me or from anyone, but it would be from yourself through your business plan sort of stage of projecting.
Brilliant, thank you. And then the next question from Mayan is quite an interesting one. And actually, Doris, you could answer this, but then maybe Himanshu and Vishal could pitch in as well, because she asks about is innovation necessarily related to technology at AI? What if the founder is not an expert in technology? Because obviously with Himanshu and Vishal, you've got obviously Himanshu being the sort of technical founder, and Vishal maybe you more on the business and client side. So maybe you two would talk about your experiences, and then Doris can add something in from investors.
I feel, I mean, this is more about the endorsing body part, but I feel like for how do I answer this? Like, yeah, I mean, you find people along the way who have complementary skills, right? So I think that is what, like, how Go Diverse works very well, because I mean, my skills and Himanshu's skills are like very complementary, and it just fits very well to, like, to run the business that we got endorsed for. And that is the reason I believe, I mean, team is an important element of it. But like, are there any other businesses that the endorsing body endorses other than technology, AI and stuff? I think Doris would be the right person to answer that. Right, Doris?
Yeah, but before we move to ours, could I add something else? So, as we have been saying that your business idea should be, innovative, viable, and scalable. Apart from that, I think the fourth part is the founder's fit, why you are the right person to do that. So whenever you are evaluating your idea, you need to definitely evaluate that whether you are the one who would be able to do it. And yes, you do need to be an expert, in my opinion, around the topic that you are going to go after, in order to show that, okay, you could execute it. And also, you don't have to be an expert in technology. If your business requires technology, you can definitely co-found with someone else, or you can include in your plan that, okay, you could consult with so-and-so person, and this is your strategy to consult with so-and-so person, and this is going to be your execution plan in terms of technology. So as long as you can do that, I believe you don't have to be an expert in technology, but you need to be an expert in the problem that you're going to solve. And then that is an innovation, could be in any area. And I think Doris can expand on that. Over to you, Doris. Thank you.
Oh, thank you both. I mean, I couldn't to what you said, and 100%. All you said were very correct, and that's just the case, really. And I can see the person who asked the question intend to apply to Innovate International. That's totally fine as well, as far because we have a very good relationship to each other. And as far as I'm aware, they're also sector agnostic, which means that they cover every sort of a sector, same as investors. We encourage sort of applications from a creative industry, fashion, and some sort of areas that which you don't normally would sort of associate with tech or with innovation, but actually innovation is open for interpretation. So it's not just tech. It could be all kinds of things. We have endorsed business in the past, which really surprises people that they would even like thought that's kind of anything close to technology. So yeah, so I guess that's the answer. Also come to the founders part. We sometimes encouraging teams because that means that you can complement each other. So for example, if someone would be expert in the technology and someone else would be really good at numbers, and they're equally important. That's why they're co-founding the business, and then they're quite likely to be quite successful as well because and they would not need to employ people at the initial stage. They could be quite self-sufficient for a while, and then that's probably good for them for their cash flow at the beginning anyway. So yeah, I guess that's my answer.
Thanks, Doris. Man, I've seen you've got your hand up. Was there something you wanted to add, or?
Yeah, I just want to ask about my specific field. Is that I'm a coach and I want to have the innovation application in the coaching field. So of course I'm the expert of that field, but about the innovation, if it's relating to some kind of technology applied, for example, to the coaching sessions or the process, can I hire someone who do the technology part and still, submit that plan? Or it needs to be the founder or co-founder?
Abdul, I think you've got your, could you mute yourself? Abdul? Okay, Doris, sorry, Doris.
No worries. Yeah, so basically we can't answer case by case sort of specific questions because they're going to cross the line of pre-assessing. And without seeing a full business plan, we can't really answer questions whether this idea would be acceptable or workable. That's questions as such, I'm sorry. But we do encourage applications from all sectors. That's what I said. As long as you could demonstrate if the business is innovative, scalable, and viable, we would consider all sort of applications from all sectors. I think that's the summary.
Thank you. So we have another question in chat, I think, for you, Himanshu and Vishal, from Mugove. It's about, could you share the breakdown of costs you incurred? So obviously noted the application for endorsement fee was mentioned, but would appreciate clarity on what other expenses you had to cover as part of the process.
Vishal, would you like to take that?
I can go ahead with the things that we spent money on, but this was like 2.5 years ago, right? So I wouldn't want to give you a number which doesn't really hold up now. So
Yeah.
like it was, of course, the endorsing bodies fees. That is the same how it was before, how they said. So £1,000 plus VAT. Then, of course, the visa application fees to the home office and the health surcharge. That's the thing. Those are the three things. We did not spend anything outside, basically, like people take support for business plans, financial forecasting, and like those sort of things. We did that in-house, and yeah, we did it ourselves, so we were okay. So these are the three things basically that we spent money on. I wouldn't be able to put a number on it, but yeah, you'll have to check like what's the exact number now.
Yeah, that's fine. And as you say, there would still be things you have to spend money on, but it may well have gone up. in the
Yeah.
meantime. Yeah. There's another question for you actually about your experiences with Be Seen. Is it something you recommend to develop your business before applying for endorsement, or is there IP issues associated with part of being Be Seen? There's obviously we don't take any IP. That remains with you. But maybe you
Absolutely, Carolyn.
could
Yeah,
talk a little bit about
Mhm.
Be Seen. Obviously, you won't Be Seen with a previous business, weren't you?
Yes,
Hummingbird rather than the current
and I
business.
can't speak more highly of like B Scene, Carolyn, Kath, and everybody in the ecosystem. I mean, if you guys just see, like we were part of 2021 cohort. We're in 2026 right now, and we're still sitting like we still have this relationship. We graduated so like it's been a while, right? And that was with another business. So the kind of support, and I'm sure like yeah, Himanshu can add his 2 cents on that. But then the of course the support has been incredible. We're still in touch. If till date if we require any kind of a support, it's just a night like we know that we can fall back on them and we can just message them, and even if yeah like if we need any kind of a support, so so that has been incredible. The events, the community, the people that we've met through that accelerator, and the program, like we're still in touch with those people, and they've gone to different places, they're doing different things, but we're still connected. So I think, I mean, that's the beauty of the program. But yeah, that's about it. I mean, I can't speak more highly of it. Like, yeah, would recommend for sure.
Thank you. And it works both ways, because obviously it's fantastic to have you guys come back even after all this time to talk to our current cohort, which is really good. We have a question from Joy. Doris, perhaps this is for you. She asked, can you have more than 2 founders?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I think our 2 sort of founders here presenting today was a great example for that. You can absolutely have 2, 3. I mean, the most we assessed so far were 5. I'm not saying whether they're successful or not. I'm just saying that's the applications numbers. But we do not taking them as business sort of we taking them as individual, if that makes sense. So everybody in the team will have to pay £1,000 and to be assessed. So it's not like a joint application. I guess that needs to be clear.
There was a question about that actually, I think earlier on, wasn't there, about whether it's per
it's individual based. Yeah, because when it comes to the visa things, it's individual based. So that's why each member would need a unique endorsement number from the endorsing body. And there were maybe cases that 1 or 2 of them got endorsed, but only 1 got the visa for their reasons out of our control, their immigration history, things like that. But that's happened as well. So we don't do a business specific, we're going to do individual based. Yeah.
Right. Okay, great. Thank you. And then the question about, would you sponsor within the sports industry?
I think as earlier mentioned that we probably wouldn't call the word sponsor, maybe support or endorse. We would consider all sectors, including the sports industry, sports sector. Yes.
Okay, great. Thank you. And then from Godwin, the final one on the chat, what if the business already exists in the UK, but it's still innovative?
I think there was the question itself quite broad. Let's make it clear that we asked the business is new business, or say if it's already registered and running, the founder or the founders should already been registered in the company's house from the very beginning and could demonstrate that they were the founders, the regional founders, and founded the business and had the director and founder level of responsibilities involved. The reason being that the Home Office is very against what has happened before to the entrepreneurial visa route, that people joined into existing businesses. So that's not okay anymore. So that's just make that clear. But it's still innovative That's the assessment for innovation. So for all new businesses, we will assess innovation the same as everyone else.
Great, thank you. And just a clarification there, you did say, did you, that founders will have to put in separate applications, even if it's the same business? Yes. Okay. So they could pretty much have exactly the same business plan.
Yeah, so our template kind of have the part that you can put into your co-founder's name and in the management team. Sometimes the co-founders might not be like the endorsement application, so they could be management only, but we ask for all the details. And the application is pretty much identical apart from the viability part, because that's going to be the founder's own experience and their contribution tractions. And also there will be a difference in another part when you're trying to meet the settlement criteria. So bear in mind that I understand not everybody wanted to settle in the UK. That is a byproduct of this route. But saying that if you wanted to do so, if you have two co-founders, which means you have to meet 4 criteria, everything doubles. So each of the co-founder would have to meet 2 criteria on their own merit, which means that's that kind of, if you have 2 co-founders, that's 4. If 6 co-founders, that's 3, that would be 6 criteria. But yeah, it's, if you're not meeting them, the visa allow you to extend as many times as possible. Each time you'll be given another 3 years. So the visa route is designed for you to set up the business here and establish it further. It's not designed for you to settle here. So you'll be supported as a business. Yeah.
Right. Thank you. And I think we've come to the end of all our questions. So maybe just before we wrap up, Himanshu and Vishal, is there anything, any sort of final thoughts that you'd like to leave people on the call with from your kind of, your experiences to date? Anything that you've learned that would have been useful for you to know earlier on?
There's, of course, there's a lot of learnings, and things, that have evolved. How we started, we thought one thing will go a certain way, but all the things don't turn out the same way. But we're in a very good place right now, and I think the support, the infrastructure, like everything here in the ecosystem, we quite like it. There are goods and bad in like every country or every business ecosystem, but we feel, these are very exciting times. The kind of things that Himanshu and I, like, we're building with Codiverse, and things that we're able to do because of different because of AI and whatnot. And so these are very exciting times. Yeah, if anybody is looking
Vishal,
to
I'd
start
like to
something
add
new.
that be really careful while building your business idea based on AI, because you might end up overpromising things. So be careful with that. You do not want to overpromise something that is not possible and then later get penalized for that. So be careful around that, and then get obsessed with your problem, understand your market, and internet is your best help, plus government published documents as well if you want to know more about the visa. Since you are curious about the visa, you would like to get on this route. This is something Vishal and I did. We did read through the publications of government of the UK, that what are they looking into, when they are, sponsoring this visa, and all of that guidance is out there, and you can yourself go and read and educate yourself. And that way you will be able to, take better decisions going forward. And we both wish you all the best with your applications.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think that's really interesting about the AI. It's obviously really good for your business, but just approach it with a little bit of caution. Yeah. And I think to Godwin's question, Doris, because I know you're not an immigration specialist, and obviously things can change, can't they? Well, it could be changed for the better, but things can change within visas and in immigration. So we can only kind of just watch this space and see what comes forth from the government. Is that true, Doris? There's nothing really else for you to add there.
Yes, absolutely, Caroline. I think yeah, we cannot sort of comment on the policy. However, from endorsing body point of view, we have not received any changes from the Home Office or from our contracts providers, which means that everything now applies to the Innovator Founder Visa will still continue and not affected by any other changes. That's all we can say.
Yeah.
If we got notified, then we can share. Yeah.
Of course, yeah. And you know, the government has expressed that they want innovative businesses in the UK, so hopefully that will remain. I think we'll probably leave that there now. There may be other questions, but we can always pick up some of them with our international team at Aston, and then maybe Doris, if there's anything that is in particular in relation to the visa, we can ask you.
Oh yeah,
via
absolutely.
email.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, very happy to. And then I'm going to share the slides that Alex presented earlier. Perhaps the last thing I would like to say is, again, thank you very much for the invitation. And I wanted to emphasize that as endorsing body, as we can't really advise, comment, or coach anybody. But the university team here, Caroline and Kath, and all the people here at Aston University are the best resources, and I think they're free as well for you to utilize before you put in your application, because it's £1,000. It's still a significant amount of money.
Yeah.
I'd like to to really consider, go through it carefully before you decide to apply. And the last tip is that please do not leave it to the last minute. You probably wouldn't know that how many times that I get on a call, someone's telling me that their visa runs out in 2 weeks' time. How can we help them? There's a little we could do, and apply to us does not give you any immigration protect at all. So yeah, so just plan it a bit sensible. Yeah, thank you very
really
much.
good advice. I think from Himanshu and Vishal's presentation saying they started researching in the January and then writing the business plan in the June. So that's the type of preparation.
Like
time
it always takes a lot more than you think it would take. Like for us, I'm not in like it took us extra time. Like at every single step that like we would take a week or two extra than what we thought we would. And yeah, but then we still gave ample time to everything. So we had enough time that when our this visa was expiring, yeah, we still made it and everything was all right. But yeah, I mean, I would say the same thing.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Great. Well, it just leaves for me to say thank you so much to Doris and obviously Alex and Himanshu and Vishal. Thank you so much. Lovely to see you both again. And we will share the slides as Doris said, and we've recorded this session so we can always share that with everybody as well. So yeah, thank you very much, and have a lovely evening.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye. Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.